Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I was going to do 6 months review of the Jeep, but then it went into service for a brake pedal problem. And I actually just got it back from service again for another problem. So I guess this is just my 8 months journey with the Jeep so far. I have the car for a total of 8 months now, and it's been an interesting journey so far. This is my first American car, and this is my first Jeep ever. If you followed my previous Jeep videos, you know the first thing I did after bringing the car home from the dealer was taking it back to service because the lock and unlock button didn't work, which is totally fine to me. That's like minor stuff. Okay, that's fine. But then it went back into service again for the steering problem I am still trying to figure out today. Before I went into service for the steering, the Jeep was just wandering all over the road, especially going straight. I was nervous every time I had to take it on the freeway, so I will only drive on roads that I'm really familiar with, which sounds so fucking dumb because a Jeep is supposed to go anywhere and can go anywhere, so it kind of defeats the purpose of a Jeep. It went into service. They replaced the steering box to a steel one. It drove a little better, but it still wanders on the freeway, and I really tried to get used to the wandering. And to be honest, if it wasn't for my steering stabilizer that I got from TerraFlex, I don't think I would have still have the Jeep today. The Jeep went back into service again in July because the brake pedal was loose, and every time you step on it, it would make this squeaky ass noise, and I think it has to do something with the brake booster. Anyways, the dealer thought it was a small fix, but it ended up being that they have to replace the whole entire brake assembly. They ended up keeping my car for 3 weeks. When I went to pick up my car, the start-stop function warning came on. They said it should go away within 24 hours, and if it didn't, then bring it back. The next day, and the following day, the warning never went away. I really don't care for that function anyway, so I can live with it. Then I noticed my MPG was going down. Before, I would get close to 300 miles per full tank. Now, without the start-stop, I would get around 250 max, so then I took it back to the dealer. During the time trying to live with the start-stop not functioning, I also decided to order the Synergy Sector Shaft Brace because that was my last resort before I talked to the manufacturer for a buyback. And in my head I go, what if, I install this part and it still drives like shit? And I keep going to pour money into the $60,000 Jeep. I know I have big tires and shit. I know I have an off-road vehicle, but no modern car should wander the way my Jeep does. I drove big lifted trucks with mountain tires before, and it doesn't drive like a Jeep where it wanders everywhere. I did my fucking research, and I know that there's an ongoing lawsuit with the Jeep steering, and I know that not everyone has the same problems that I do. But I do know a lot of people have the same steering problem. You can just Google it, and tons of them are complaining on multiple forums. So I made an appointment to get the start-stop function fixed. While at the dealer, I asked my service advisor, if I install this part, is it going to void the warranty? I'm talking about the sector shaft brace from Synergy. He said he'll check and get back to me. The day after, he called and said it will not void the warranty, and if the dealer install it, they'll charge me around $400. I said no, don't do it, because again, why am I going to keep pouring money into this $60,000 vehicle to get it to drive right? Then I kept thinking, with all the times I had to take the Jeep back into service, I'm just tired of it. I can't keep doing this. I don't have time for this. At this price range, with 7 months of ownership with 7,000 miles on it, it shouldn't be in service this amount of times. So I decided to officially ask for a manufacturer buyback. I got in contact with the manufacturer, and that was a process within itself, but I'm not even going to go into that. The case manager has a log of everything about my car. She sees how many times it has been in service, what kind of problems I've been having with this Jeep. She said she can't offer a manufacturer buyback right now. So I said, then please, what do you have to do to make my car drive right? And during this time, the Jeep is in service for the start-stop system. She asked if they're going to take a look at the steering, and I said no, because they went through this before where they drove my car, and according to them, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the steering. But I also mentioned that I had the Synergy bracket sitting behind my seat in the Jeep. And that was my last try to really fix the steering problem. And that the dealer wanted to charge me $400 for it. Anyway, so she said she's going to talk to the dealer and try to get them to install it for me, and we'll be in contact and let me know. And this was like 3 p.m. on a Thursday. She was supposed to let me know if the dealer would be willing to install it or not. And then I was supposed to decide whether I want to go through with it. Because what happens again if they install it and the steering doesn't get fixed? I did not hear anything from both the case manager or the dealer. So the next day I called the dealer asking what's going on. Like, couldn't get hold of them, couldn't get hold of my service guy. Then later around 3 p.m. he called and said my Jeep is done. He said the case manager asked them to install the brace, which I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I appreciate that they installed it, but no one was in communication with me that this was going to happen. And then I'm just like, how are they even installing a part that they didn't design, that they didn't manufacture? And this was just mind-blowing to me. So is this a common thing? Is this a Jeep thing? So have they went through the same case that I'm going through with someone else before? You know what I'm saying? I picked up the Jeep with the brace on. There's definitely less plate for sure, but it still wanders a little. But the problem I have now is when I put my steering wheel straight, the Jeep goes to the right. Probably needs an alignment or something, but none of this was communicated with me. You see what I mean? Whoever installed it, did they even test drive after the install to see that it was steering to the right? Did they even test drive it before they install it? This is why I told the dealer not to install it, because problems kept coming up one after another. So I'm kind of fed up with this brand. Like, this is my first Jeep, this is my first American car, and I can't say I recommend it. But okay, back to the actual car. Besides all the problems in my ongoing service appointments, starting from the exterior, I still love everything about it. It's timeless, classic. I still love the tire wheel combo I chose. It has perfect stance in my opinion, not too obnoxious. The tires stick out just enough to give that aggressive look with the right amount of clearance for off-road. For me, as a driver and as an everyday driver, the size, the length, the height, the amount of space, the seating position, the dimensions are perfect for me. People think it's such a big car, but it's actually not. The tires make it look big because if you really look at the shape of the car, it's small on top. And then we have the poking fenders that makes it look wide. And on top of that, I have the tires sticking out about 4 inches on each side. So it gives it a really wide stance. So people think it's a really big car. And my only problem is that it still wanders on the road, even with the brace on. No modern car should drive like this. And after all my research, I honestly don't think everyone has the same problems I do. I honestly think it's only on certain Jeeps, but at this point, I'm so done with taking it back to service. I can't keep doing this. I really can't. At the end of the day, for all of those who left me a comment saying my Jeep looks sick and that they want the same thing, I'll still say, if you really want a Wrangler, rent one out and try to live with it for a week first before you decide on a purchase. And in my Jeep experience, it's been interesting to say the least. I'll see what the manufacturers say and then go from there. But thanks for listening to my story. I'm not making this shit up. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And until the next video.